Well, here we are again on the Dynasty channel, here to talk about this man, Brock Purdy, and why I believe, and I won't beat a dead horse on this because I just got off the main channel, youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show, talking about it for 2 hours, but we'll hit it from a Dynasty perspective only. This guy's not a top 5 Dynasty quarterback. He's just not. And if you want to call in and argue with me about it, the number's right there. But he's not. He's not. You can use your eyeballs. You can use whatever you want. There are too many quarterbacks that you'd rank above him. This is not a top 5 quarterback. Is he 10? You could argue 10. Is he in my top 7? No, he's not even in my top 7. And if anybody thinks that this man's better than Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts had a little unraveling and the Eagles unraveled a little bit, you got another thing coming. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the Fantasy Football.
Live whenever news breaks. Appreciate you all being here. Let me put this on screen here. This is a Dynasty content, so let me put this right here so you guys can all see that this is whoa. This is the Dynasty channel. This is a Dynasty conversation. I know this is going to be hard for a lot of people to hear, but Brock Purdy is not a top 5 Dynasty quarterback. This game just ended. For anybody watching this months down the road, we don't know how the playoffs are going to unravel or unfold moving forward. We only know that as of this moment tonight, if you're watching this, like I said, months down the road, the Baltimore Ravens just beat the Houston Texans in a very easy battle, and the Niners barely escaped a victory over the Green Bay Packers, who played better the entire game. And the Niners won, and they won deserved. They deserved to win because their defense stepped up and picked off Jordan Love, who played very well for the most part. It was pouring rain when he threw that pass. His other interception was a tip ball. But Jordan Love is better than Brock Purdy in fantasy football. And that's going to be hard for, I think, people to hear if you're coming from a Niner or Brock Purdy perspective, because you're gonna say, he played like Steve Young this year. His stats and his accuracy and everything, his yards per catch. This guy has yak monsters at his disposal. Deebo Samuel is one of the biggest yak machine yardage monsters in the National Football League. Christian McCaffrey takes a short pass 20, 30 yards down the field. These guys break off long touchdown runs. I venture to say probably no team in the National Football League, I don't even have the stat in front of me, but no team in the National Football League in 2023 probably had more breakaway yak yardage touchdown runs or receptions in the National Football. Nobody. This team had to have been top of the league, because Christian McCaffrey was ripping them off all year, catching footballs, taking them house. Deebo catching footballs, taking them house. Ayuk, same thing. Kittle, these are yak yardage monsters. And I'm not trying to take away from what this man has at his disposal, because that does equate to fantasy production. But in Dynasty, we don't know how long the situation will survive. What's the window of time looking like? And Brock Purdy, when any facet of that offense is injured, especially if it's Trent Williams, but if Christian McCaffrey's banged up, if Deebo's out like he was in this playoff game tonight, again, if you're watching this later, we just saw the Green Bay Packers almost knock off the San Francisco 49ers. Any part of the offense is broken of this 5-spoke wheel where you have Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Kittle, and Trent Williams is the 5-spoke wheel. Any part of this wheel has a broken spoke or an injured spoke, the whole wheel comes crumbling down, and he starts to turn into, as we say, a pumpkin. And it's not like he doesn't play well at times. It's not like he didn't have a nice drive where he hung onto the football instead of throwing the football away, ran for a first down, and actually really did help his team win the game. We got to give him his flowers. I'm not biased with this. I can be honest that was a nice drive for him. It definitely it helped his value a ton. Had he not done that, we'd be having a totally different conversation. If Brock Purdy folded tonight, and let's say he threw one of those 2 interceptions that he threw, they didn't end up being interceptions because the Green Bay Packer defender dropped them in both cases, but had one of those occurred, had that field goal been connected on, the Green Bay missed a field goal. Now, granted, he's been missing all year, so that's kind of on Green Bay to keep this kicker around for as long as they did. But, if Brock Purdy had lost this game, Niner fans would have been divided. You would have had, and if you're a Niner fan, if you're a true Niner fan, you know this is true. If Brock Purdy folded in this game, which he was very, very much on the verge of doing, half the fan base will be calling for his neck. And you know that's true if you're a Niner fan in here. You know it's true. You always have controversy at quarterback. This would have opened up another door, another Pandora's box of controversy around your quarterback situation. But because he won the game, everybody's super pumped up about it. And I don't blame you. I'm not here to hate on the Niners. I'm just here to talk about the fact that there are still people that think it's ridiculous to have a conversation about this man over Jalen Hurts. And it's ridiculous to even have the conversation with people. Jalen Hurts is by far and away a better quarterback fantasy football-wise than Brock Purdy. You could have arguments about Stroud being over Hurts, sure. Burrow over Hurts, Lamar over Hurts, absolutely. Because those are all quarterbacks that are on the verge of being in a tight grouping together. I don't think anybody can make a case over Josh Allen from a fantasy football perspective. You want to talk about starting an NFL team from scratch and you've got Lamar as your number one, that's fine. You got Stroud as your number one, I'm okay with that too. You got Joe Burrow as your number one, I'm fine with that. Patrick Mahomes is your number one, no problem. I think this grouping of Burrow, Stroud, Lamar, Hurts, Allen, and Mahomes, and maybe one other, that grouping is so tight from a football perspective. No one's off base by saying I want that guy as my starting quarterback. If I have no players, I'm a GM, I have no scheme, I have no coach, I have no players, and I get to choose which quarterback I get for the next 10, 15 years, I'm taking that guy. No one can make an argument against anybody's take. But from a fantasy perspective, Josh Allen is 100% in the top 3 fantasy quarterbacks. He just proved it. Even throwing as many INTs as he throws, it doesn't matter in fantasy. He scores 40-plus total touchdowns. That's why he's the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football. Jalen Hurts was the number 2 fantasy football quarterback. This guy, Josh Allen, finishes the number 4 fantasy football quarterback, a player we touted on the channel over and over and over during the offseason. And when things got rough, people jumped ship. Not everybody, but a lot of people jumped off the Jordan Love train, and this is across the fantasy industry, and this man was a free agent when Joe Burrow went down, when AR5 went down, and people were quarterback hunting. I had to go on a waiver wire show weekly for 2, 3, 4 weeks saying, make sure Jordan Love's not out there because the fickle Freddy cut him. And he's sitting out there on waivers. And everybody would come on live stream and say, even in my own live stream, in my own community, a big chunk of people would say things like, this guy's garbage. I'm cutting him tomorrow for a scrub. That was the most common phrase about Jordan Love. I'm cutting him tomorrow for a scrub. I'm getting rid of him. He's garbage. He finished number 4. Number 4. Brock Purdy is no better than a 8, 9, 10, 11, and I give him that wide range. He could be 8. He's got so many weapons. He could finish 7 or 8 in a given season. But overall, dynasty value, long term. Remember, this is a dynasty channel. We're talking dynasty. He is nowhere near my top 7, probably even top 8 dynasty quarterbacks. And dare I piss off a Brock Purdy or Niner fan even more by saying, give me probably 2 of the incoming rookie quarterbacks over Brock Purdy right now without even knowing landing spot, because I think JD5 will be better than him. I think JD5 is the next Lamar, and what we've been saying on this channel for the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks is that if Lamar goes out on a terror, guess what people are going to say about JD5? He's the next Lamar. JD5's value will increase every single time this man Lamar goes out there and does great things, because people will draw comparisons like no other quarterback in this 2024 NFL draft class. So JD5's attached to this man, and every time he does something good, JD5 goes up in value. And I think JD5 ends up in Washington. I don't have this entire draft order since today's game's fixed, but everything through the top 18 overall is correct. JD5, I believe, goes to Washington because of Adam Peters, the new GM that got taken away from San Francisco, that let him slip through their kung fu grip. This is the best thing that ever happened to San Francisco. He's a talent monster, and I believe he knows what time it is. This Adam Peters character over in Washington, he's about to flip this franchise around. They're the new Houston Texans walking into 2024 and beyond. They're gonna, I think, get JD5, but we'll see. Ron Navy, you're live. I won't be here too long, Ron Navy, but I'm interested to hear your Brock Purdy take.
Turdy Purdy.
Well, I know. I guess I know where you're going with this.
you know how everybody's like getting on me and saying Pickett has small hands, and Pickett can at least throw a wet football. Purdy can't. Purdy is god awful in bad weather. It wasn't just this game. It was the last game he played in inclement weather in Cleveland. He was god awful. He couldn't. He has a problem. I don't know if it's his hand size or what, but Purdy is not it. Purdy is not it. He was. Thank God the NFL scripted San Francisco to win tonight. I told Golf.
Don't tell Ron Pickett isn't it either, though.
Chat.
Pickett's not it
I told
either.
him before it even happened. I said Green Bay's going to go down. They're going to stall. They're going to miss a field goal. San Francisco's going to take the ball down, and they're going to score for the win. I told him that verbatim, and that's exactly what happened.
God, that field goal would have been the difference maker, man. Just that.
Yeah, but it wasn't meant to happen. The Carlson brothers, the ones on Green Bay and the other ones on the Raiders, they both suck.
Yeah, that's on Green Bay to keep him. He was missing kicks all year. That's
you knew the wind was going from where he was kicking, it was going right to left. He knew where the wind was, but yet he kicked it straight to the left, knowing the wind was blowing to the left. Come on. That was a perfect script the NFL had, because the NFL can't let us have a 7th seed beat a number 1 seed, especially when they want that. You see that thing I showed you, that preemptive thing from the 18th that said Reba McEntire and so-and-so is going to perform at the Super Bowl, the 49ers and the Ravens Super Bowl on February 1st.
Yeah. Ron's a big proponent of the script.
The script strikes
Don't
again.
believe in the scripted because they're underestimated. Watch tomorrow's game, and that'll be the tell-all.
The script strikes again.
Buffalo should win that game, hands down. But watch the script. The rest will steer that
The
game.
script
And the
strikes
NFL
again.
wants, just like they wanted Kansas City to win the Super Bowl last year, because Kansas.
Okay, but here's a problem. I think you got the wrong script. Let's just pretend the NFL is scripted.
Oh.
You think for a second they don't want
Yep.
Taylor
Quick
Swift?
money.
You're telling me they don't want Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl?
They want, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you were saying the
game.
Ravens. I thought you were saying
I
the
said,
script was the
watch-
Ravens.
No.
Okay.
Watch the referees. They're going to steer the game so Kansas City wins that game, because the NFL wants their.
But I thought you were
money.
saying the Ravens were scripted in by that. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I mean, if
No.
if this is scripted, you know Taylor Swift's at the Super Bowl. That is the biggest. Honestly, it feels like it's gonna happen. Just 'cause, like, how could it not?
Watch the game tomorrow. Watch the
Well,
game.
I will
it
watch the
closely.
game because I'm going for Buffalo.
I counted 3 times tonight in tonight's game blatant face masks that were never even called. 3 of them. Not 1, not 2, but 3 face masks that were never even called.
Yeah.
Blatant.
All right,
Where
hey,
the guy-
Ron, real quickly, because I'm not going to stay here long. So I'm going to get one more take from you, and then I'm gonna bump you off. Jordan Love.
Yeah.
What do you think about Jordan Love? Where does he kind of rank for you long term? Remember, we're on the Dynasty channel. Like, you don't have to give me an exact like ranking, but do you feel like he's 6 to 10 capable? Do you like what you see? Do you feel like people are overvaluing him? Do you think he'll develop? He's got a young team. Him and Stroud are very similar in that their teams are young. Their teams are they turn the reins over to him, and they've got like a similar situation. They got good young wide receivers. What do you think of Jordan Love?
I like he has very good demeanor. He's very calm. He doesn't overreact. Even when he messes up, one of those interceptions wasn't even hit. I mean, his own guy batted the ball up, and
yeah.
But
the last one was in pouring rain. The last one was in pouring rain against the Niners D.
I like Preston. Well, he's used to that because if you play in Green Bay, you have to know how to play in inclement weather.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
So,
and you know, we haven't, just similar to Michael Penix Jr. when he threw that pass to Dunze, and everybody's like, oh my God, Michael Penix Jr. sucks. He totally missed him. When Michael Penix Jr. came out and said, I ran the wrong route, Michael Penix threw, or Dunze came out and said, I ran the wrong route. Michael Penix Jr. threw the ball exactly where it was supposed to be, and everybody prejudged Michael Penix Jr. We don't even know like the details behind that last pass. I'd like to know what maybe went wrong, but it was pouring rain. I don't care if you're used to it or not. It was pouring rain against the Niner defense, which is a tough D to go against when push comes to shove. They have their holes, but it certainly is not the easiest D because they come up with big plays at the end. So I don't fault Jordan Love. I don't judge him at all. He had a top 4 fantasy football season. He's an absolute monster in the making potentially, and Green Bay's only going to get better. So it's funny that this is even a debate for some people, like Love versus Purdy. It's like in fantasy, it's not even close.
If you want to know how good a quarterback really is, when you have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 young receivers that have each taken turns leading from month to month, leading. When you can spread the ball around like that, I mean, that's what Kirk Cousins does. He spreads the ball around. That's why he can handle different receivers, not just one big receiver. He can handle several. That's what Love does. Love can handle several different receivers. And just because, like last week I said, don't bet on Dobbs being the guy. Don't chase his points from last week because it can be a totally different receiver this week.
I think Purdy.
Reed, it can be Vic. It could be Christian Watson.
I think Jaden Reed's going to be so undervalued next year. From a Dynasty perspective, we touched on this on the main channel, so go watch that video too. It's kind of the same topic, but it's an hour and a half, 2 hours long. But and a redraft take to it on the main channel, youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. But we talk and touch on Jaden Reed, and so from a Dynasty perspective, there's no question in my mind he's the number 1 wide receiver on that team next year. Right now, could it change? Could he get hurt? Could Watson work on his hamstrings and come back? But Watson was off the injury report in this game, and he caught 1 catch for 11 yards, I think. So he's got to be off your radar for being the number 1 wide receiver. Maybe he's a value grab late in a draft, double-digit rounds. You grab Watson, you cuff him to Jaden Reed. But Jaden Reed is by far and away the most attractive young wide receiver with upside to become potentially a wide receiver 2 in fantasy, and I absolutely love freaking Jaden Reed right now. He's unbelievable. He's going to probably be a moon man for anybody on here that wants a little early insight on that, a little scoop inside information. He'll probably be on the moon man list at some point. How
exciting is next year going to be? Because like everybody, the AFC North, they always say that's like one of the toughest divisions, if not the toughest division, right? With Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, right? But how freaking competitive. I mean, just to see what the Bears do in the offseason to improve their team. But with Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit, that is going to be one great division to watch. It's going to be that division right there could probably turn into one of the toughest divisions next year to win in.
All right. I think it's going to be fun next year. All right, Ron, I got to go. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for watching the Dynasty channel. Go back and watch the heated debates. We had a couple heated things going. if you missed
I
it.
was drafting. I didn't even get the notification to your other
Yeah.
show, so I missed it.
It's a good one. It's a good one. All right, later.
Okay, later.
Sebastian, you got 30 seconds because I'm on my way out the door.
I think Jordan Love has top 2 quarterback upside next year because it is the last year on his deal. He's not scared to put the ball up there. He has the release. He has the poise. I'm telling you, he's gonna be the young Aaron Rodgers, what he was, and next year is his contract year. I do think he will finish. He can finish as a top 2 in the quarterback position. I think the one will go to a dual threat, whether it's Hurts, Allen, Mahomes, maybe Stroud, but I will give number 2 to Jordan Love for his upside.
I think that's bold. I don't think I could put him number 2, but I certainly don't hate somebody being bold and having a bold take. So kudos to you for being bold. That's awfully high. I think he finished 4, so like it's not, at the end of the day, it's not even that crazy. But yeah, I couldn't personally rank him there. Hopefully you draft him and you get 4, 5, 3 numbers out of him again. He certainly got the upside to replicate what he did, which was QB4. So I don't think that's crazy. All right, Sebastian, appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you.
Later. That's it. We know 21 minutes is a nice little Dynasty show. Appreciate everybody calling in. And sorry if I offended anybody that's a Niner fan today. It's not my intention. I didn't mean to offend a Brock Purdy fan. I love my Niner fans. I love all my fans. I love anybody that's a fan of a team or you're just a fantasy football connoisseur. I didn't mean to upset anybody. So I want to make sure, and I appreciate Blackbeard, who's a moderator of mine, and I'm always going on a rant on Brock Purdy, and I feel kind of bad sometimes at how bad that comes off. But I'm not. There's no hate here. It's just putting Brock Purdy in his fantasy football ranking place in his ranking among the NFL quarterbacks. That's all I'm doing because he's kind of vaulted up. But I don't hate him. I don't hate the Niners. I have the Niners winning the Super Bowl. That's what my bracket had. In my heart was rooting for the Packers tonight, but when I put my bracket out, I put the Niners there. I'll be rooting for Buffalo to win it all. I don't know that they will. I don't know that they'll even win tomorrow, but I'll be rooting for it. And what I root for and what I try and put on paper logically sometimes doesn't match up because I don't put a ranking or a prediction out there based on my heart. I put it out there what I believe logically will happen, and I can do those things. We have a Dynasty. We need more Dynasty talk. We have a Dynasty live stream or video every single day. So make sure you subscribe to this Dynasty channel. I don't know if all of you know you're all chilled. I don't know if you're watching the Dynasty channel. Like maybe this video is recommended to you. Maybe anybody out there doesn't realize you think you're watching the main channel. You're not. Make sure you subscribe to this Dynasty channel. I need you to subscribe to it and help the channel out. I need you to watch some of the other videos. Go watch some of the other Dynasty videos. All chilled. Go watch all the other videos. I got one every day, so you got to catch up. Get that watch time up, and then the channel will be monetized within a week or so. Appreciate you all. Subscribe if you're new to this brand new Dynasty channel. For the most part, I mean, we created it last year, didn't do anything with it necessarily, but now you're watching currently the Dynasty Fantasy Football channel. Make sure you're subscribed to both of them. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you to Travis Blackbeard and DeBalt if he's in here. Yeah, he's in here. DeBalt, my moderators, appreciate you. Thank you, Superfish, for being here. Thank you, Mark B. Ron Navy in the house. Huffman, appreciate you. Space Ricky. Who else is here? Theo, appreciate you. Isaac. Ryan T. Matt O. Peanut Butter and Waivers, appreciate you. Matt O, appreciate you. I think I said that. Anybody else that's in here that I'm not calling out right now? BW, appreciate you. Go rewatch all the Dynasty streams you can get your hands on. Help this channel get the watch time up. This is the Dynasty channel. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed to this Dynasty channel. It's new. This is not the main channel you're watching. Subscribe. Do it. Do it live.